quarterback 7. He's got 7 more to go. Haynes King. Haynes King from Georgia Tech. This is my guy. You're not going to see a higher evaluator than me on Haynes King. And you probably won't see Haynes King higher on a QB list than you will right now. I love this guy. I freaking love this guy. This guy can play for my team any day of the week. This guy's a winner. This guy's tough as nails. This guy's an absolute leader and an absolute competitor out there. I know he's not a standard drop back quarterback. I know he's never going to be just every down starter for an NFL team. But here we go. That doesn't mean he can't help a team win. That doesn't mean he can't help a team win a Super Bowl, which is the ultimate goal. I think this guy could be Taysom Hill 2.0. I know Taysom's a better athlete, better runner, more physical, bigger guy. Watch what this guy accomplished in his career at Georgia Tech. Watch the athleticism he has, the rushing ability, the juking ability in quarterback run packages, wildcat packages, the strength he possesses, the tough as nails attitude, competitor, the willingness to do whatever it takes to fight for the yards, pick up the first down, do whatever it takes to win. And I know that's cheesy. I know that's corny, whatever. This guy has it. This guy's the leader. This guy is an absolute winner. Let's go over the measurables. Haynes King height, 212 pounds, plenty big enough, passes that test. Here's the caveat. He's 25 years old. He's the oldest quarterback prospect in this class, 25.2. He will be the oldest of the bunch on draft night, but he started 43 games in his career. He played 6 years in college, 3 at A&M, 3 at Georgia Tech, where he really blew up and hit his stride. 25-18 as a starter. 25-18 as a starter. Brought Georgia Tech back to relevancy these past few years with Brent Key. Almost beat Georgia. Do you remember that 8 overtime game where they almost beat Georgia? That was one of the greatest college football games I've ever watched. This dude was putting his body on the line, leaving it all out there on the field, as he does in every single game if you watch this guy. No bigger heart of a warrior, heart of a champion. No one cares more than this guy. That's Haynes King right there. And again, maybe that's all stuff you can't really quantify, but if you just watch this guy play at Georgia Tech, you know that he is just an absolute leader, and just this guy just wants it more than others. So let's go over the stats. I don't have his rushing totals in front of me, but he was a factor in the run game all 3 years at Georgia Tech. I believe he ran for 800 yards. So I think he was like in the 800 run yard total. So like when I list these numbers, just be aware that he was also picking up over 500 yards on the ground per season. So 69.8 completion percentage. Very good completion rate. Now, these were not a lot of standard passes, like intermediate, like 10 to 20 yard passes. Like a lot of these are screens, slants, kind of schemed up, bubbles, whatever, underneath stuff. But he was still completing the throws on time, still completing the ball, still getting the ball out within the structure of Georgia Tech's offense. So that's why I give him a lot of credit for commanding the huddle there. Almost 3,000 passing yards, 2,951 passing yards total. Again, remind you, over 500 rushing yards as well. 8.2 yards per pass. You know what? Let me look up his rushing yards just while we're here. Since we're talking. All right. 53 rushing yards with 15 rushing touchdowns. So he had 14 passing touchdowns and 15 rushing touchdowns. That's where you can help a team win. That's where you can help an NFL team. If you are adding this guy somewhere on like day 3 in the 6th or 7th round to be just your QB run package guy, just come in on Wildcats or whatever, that's where he can help you. He can play a Taysom Hill role for a team and help that team win games. I firmly believe it. And this guy has the great attitude, a bright attitude, and he's going to be willing to do that too, versus some who might not be. 6 interceptions only, did not put the ball in harm's way, doesn't turn the ball over much, 14 passing touchdowns, 15 rushing, only 9 sacks, great at escaping pressure, great at getting out of the pocket, making things happen with his legs when the play breaks down. Passer rating of 147.9. So that's good enough for me because he gets a pass with the, obviously the rushing totals help him there. So now getting into the advanced metrics here. 85.9 PFF grade. Fantastic stuff there. 85.9 PFF grade, 86.4 PFN score. So pretty close, right on par, about 86 grade there. 77.7 QBR. That's good stuff, high-level stuff from the King himself. We talked about completion rate. So a lot of schemed up plays for wide open receivers, but he's still the one putting the ball in the money. 79 adjusted completion percent for Haynes King, which I love to see. And then a wins above average of 0.291. 0.291, which is one of the higher marks of the 15 quarterbacks on this list. Let's look at the NFL Combine results. So the next-gen stats, the production score, only a 61. So this is kind of what hurt him a little bit from a throwing standpoint. So this is more the passing standpoint. So 61 production score, which is 14th of the 15 quarterbacks. However, the athleticism score, which we talk about his rushing ability here, 91 athleticism score, which was second of the 15 in this class. That gives him a total score of 72, which was seventh among quarterbacks in this draft class. Good stuff out of Haynes King there. Some strengths and weaknesses for my guy here. We just talked about it. Strengths, tough as nails competitor, an absolutely tremendous locker room leader. This is a guy you want in your locker room. This is a guy who's going to be leading by example and kind of helping young guys out, doing whatever it takes, whatever the coaching staff asks of him. And last strength, he could be elite in QB run packages. So we're going to get into a weakness. He's never going to be a standard dropback passer. However, he could be elite in QB run packages for a team that could help them win. The weakness is awkward arm delivery. If you watch his arm throw, you're probably going to think it's pretty ugly and not enjoyable to watch. Awkward arm delivery, again, not going to be a standard dropback passer, but he can make a solid underneath pass here and there for an NFL team if they need him on some play where, maybe catches the defense off guard and he hits a guy in stride running down the sidelines. He can absolutely do that for a team. We've seen him complete 50-yard bombs before. Go back to the Miami game a couple of years ago. The two throws where Mario Cristobal didn't knee the clock. Do you remember this game? Miami, Florida versus Georgia Tech. Mario Cristobal did not knee the clock and turned it over, and Haynes King had 2 plays to win the game. 2 plays to win the game, and he did it. He completed both passes. One was like a 30-yard bomb to get him in Hail Mary range, and the second one was a Hail Mary that won him. So go watch those throws. He's got enough arm strength for sure. However, the final weakness is he is the oldest QB prospect in this class, so you just can't ignore stuff like that. So, hate to say it, but oldest QB prospect. However, my NFL projection outlook for him is, I think, my player comp is Taysom Hill. I think I would take a chance on him in day 3, maybe even round 6. I have him a little higher than the previous guys because unlike Aller and Klubnik, I think King can actually help a team win games in the National Football League, which is the whole goal that we're even to begin with. So winning a Super Bowl and winning games is the entire goal of all of this. So if a quarterback can help a team do that, that's the ultimate. Bengals and Lions are 2 team fits I have, 2 teams I root for, mostly because I want this guy on my team. A team like the Bengals with Joe Burrow, who can't run at all, you could add a guy like King who you could bring in on some run packages and open up the playbook a little bit. I'm not taking the ball out of Joe's hands. I'm just bringing in King for a couple different looks, couple different schemes to maybe throw off the defense and pick up some yards that way. So that's my Haynes King outlook. Again, I love the guy. You might not find a bigger Haynes King fan, but this guy's an absolute winner, man, and guy's just a fun college quarterback who I think he's going to be a factor in the NFL, even if it's not as a starting quarterback. So that's why I'm drafting him in the 6th round.